Welcome. Today we're going to do more than just talk about ideas. We're going to examine a blueprint. We're looking right past the abstract hope for peace and into the cold, hard logic of how societies are actually built to last. So let's explore this architecture of peace together.
So, we have to begin with the most fundamental question a builder could ever ask. What holds it all together? It's a question that really challenges us to look beyond the simple answers, to try and understand the very structure of the world we live in. Because here's the thing, a peaceful and just society doesn't just happen. It's not some accident of history or the product of wishful thinking. No, like any great temple, it has to be constructed stone by stone with real intention, skill, and precision.
Our blueprint for this grand work reveals three absolutely essential pillars. Each one is distinct for sure, but each one also rests upon the last. And if you don't have all three in their proper order, well, the entire structure is pretty much destined to fail.
And here they are. These are the pillars. We start with justice, which is the immovable foundation. Then, upon that, we build with trust. That's the structure that gives society its form. And finally, we complete the whole thing with unity, the element that makes sure it all endures.
All right, so let's begin the construction. We're starting right at the bedrock of our societal temple, justice. And this isn't some finishing touch. This is the very first principle. It's the first stone that absolutely must be laid true. In its most practical sense, justice isn't about vengeance or settling scores. It's really about predictability. It's that unwavering promise that the rules of the game apply to everyone, from the very highest to the very lowest, with no exceptions. Now, to make sure you have a solid foundation, any builder is going to need the right tools. For a stonemason, the square is what you use to test if a stone is perfectly angled so it'll fit just right. In our society, we have to use that same exact principle. If our laws aren't square, if they're not true and fair for everyone, the whole structure is compromised from the get-go.
And the consequences of that failure? They are severe. The moment people even perceive justice as selective, their brains literally mark the system as unsafe. The law stops being a shield for all and becomes a weapon for some. And that's when the foundation cracks.
So upon a sound foundation of justice, and only then, can we even begin to build the walls. But these walls, they aren't made of stone. They're held together by the mortar of trust.
Trust, it's that social glue. Think of it like a form of social credit that lets us cooperate and innovate and rely on people we've never even met. Why? All because we have a shared confidence that we're all playing by the same set of fair rules.
The contrast this creates is just stark. Look, in low-trust societies, you only work with your family. But in high-trust societies, you can build incredible things with total strangers. One world is always looking over its shoulder and stagnates. The other flourishes because people feel safe enough to turn their backs without fear.
This brings us to another one of the builder's tools, the level. It makes sure all the stones are set on the same horizontal plane. Socially, meeting upon the level means we all stand on shared equal ground, and that is only possible when we have total confidence that we're all being measured by the same true standard, that we're all acting by the square. Okay, so with a just foundation and walls of trust, we can finally place the roof on our temple. This is the great work, and it's bound together not by force, but by the cement of unity.
And this is such a crucial point. We have to understand that true unity is not forced compliance. A chain of force, that's the tyrant's tool. It binds you from the outside and it's brittle. But the cement of unity, that's the builder's goal. It binds from within, creating a bond that is both incredibly strong and resilient.
The final tool for this work is the trowel. A mason uses it to spread the cement that binds individual stones into a single, solid wall. For us, the trowel is the symbol for spreading that cement of fellowship and brotherly love, completing the great work by creating that powerful internal bond. So here you see it, the elegant, almost divine geometry of a well-built society. The square of justice makes sure each part is true. The level of trust ensures all parts are perfectly aligned, and the trowel of unity binds them all together with unbreakable strength. But we also have to heed a solemn warning. We must understand what happens when this sequence gets broken, when the working tools are just discarded, and the temple, well, it falls into ruin. Just think about this destructive sequence. It all starts when people believe this system is rigged. Without justice, trust completely evaporates, and the thinking becomes, I've got to look out for myself and my own. And from there, unity is impossible. Society just devolves into a state where you have to use force before it's used on you.
And that's the ultimate consequence. When the temple is a ruin, when the cement has totally failed, the stick of raw force is the only tool left to hold all the scattered stones in place. Society is then held together not by mutual respect, but by the constant threat of coercion.
So we're left not with pessimism, but with a profound and personal charge. This blueprint, it isn't just for nations, it's for each and every one of us. Peace and unity aren't found by wishing, they're found by working, by diligently applying these principles to our own lives starting today.